Abuja is getting so populated, and that is just it. It's as a result of the insecurity in most of these northeast states. Of course, you see the influence of so many people
Exactly.
now relocating to Abuja. The situation on ground now. Now, without wasting much time, we are looking at Nigeria's most influential newspaper first, and that is Leadership. Leadership says, and like I said last week, leadership is already doing a countdown to the exit of this administration led by President Muhammadu Buhari. And leadership says 7 days to go. Buhari shifts jet. Residents brace up as PMB's return to Daura enters final phase. 7 days to go. Buhari shifts jet. Residents brace up as PMB's return to Daura enters final phase. Of course, leadership has a big and bold picture of President Muhammad Buhari there on his cover and his pointing hand. God knows what maybe where he's pointing his finger
He'll be
to.
pointing at his cows and farm produce.
Because in his farm. And we have other stories as well. CCTV project called asks federal government to account for $460 million Chinese loan. CCTV project court asks federal government to account for $460 million Chinese loan. That story is also what is making the cover on that paper, and that is the great newspaper. Leadership says 10th National Assembly, Yari Kalu G6 turned down emissaries. 10th NAS, Yari Kalu G6 turned down emissaries. They turned down emissaries because they are spoiled for the fight. Reps minority leadership, Atiku Wike in fresh war. Reps minority leadership, Atiku Wike in fresh war. 5 African presidents join PNB to commission Dangote refinery today. That is also another story that is making the cover of other papers. We move over to page 3 of Leadership, where we have our stand. It is the editorial of Leadership today, May 22nd, 2023. It says Nigerian youths and internet fraud. Nigerian youths and internet fraud. That is the new stand on today's Leadership. Of course, we move over to the back page of the paper. Monday column with Dafuku inside. Why this presidential transition matters. Why this presidential transition matters. Ghana must go. We have Elon Musk to launch automated wife soon, and we now have no much of money. No much of money. That is all we can go on the Leadership newspaper this Monday. For more on the stories, we have the inside pages and trending news as well. Just log on to the website of www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move over to The Guardian. The Guardian says high expectations as Dangote breaks NNPC's monopoly, shrinks EU supply to Africa. The Guardian, high expectations as Dangote breaks NNPC's monopoly, shrinks EU supply to Africa. The story is on page 6, because you see the picture of Dangote, just like Leadership has a good picture of President Muhammad Buhari in his cover. We also have same with Dangote on The Guardian. High expectations as Dangote breaks NNPC's monopoly, shrinks EU supply to Africa. May 29, security, economy, restructuring, Southeast peace, top list of demand from Tinubu. May 29, security, economy, restructuring, Southeast peace, top list of demand from Tinubu. Higher mortgage rates damping real estate affordability investments. 5,000 distressed residential office properties flood real estate market. Higher mortgage rates damping real estate affordability investment. 5,000 distressed residential office properties flood real estate market. Babalola urges Tinubu to lobby for debt relief. Okoliabo retires as acting AGF on May 28th. Global disinformation experts launch international panel on information environment. That is the leading stories on on The Guardian. The Guardian, we move over to page 3 of The Guardian. We have US-based Nigerian doctor files motion before Supreme Court to delay Tinubu's inauguration. And we have a leading story that was trending yesterday on the Nigeria's food exports. It says 70% of food exports from Nigeria rejected abroad, says NAFDAC. 70% of food exports from Nigeria rejected abroad, says NAFDAC. Well, just before we leave the Guardian story, we move over to the editorial of today. AMCON's lingering loans and impending sunset. AMCON's lingering loans and impending sunset. That's the editorial of the Guardian today, May 22nd, 2022. From that Guardian newspaper editorial, we move over to THISDAY. THISDAY is still leading with the story on Dangote's refinery. It says 7 African presidents join Buhari to open Dangote refinery. Continent's game changer. 7 African presidents join Buhari to open Dangote refinery. Continent's game changer. 650,000 barrel per day facility to alter international energy landscape and end petrol smuggling in Nigeria. 650,000 barrel per day facility to alter international energy landscape and petrol smuggling in Nigeria. Tinubu, Emefiele, governors, ministers, top business leaders to witness epoch event. Refinery, a significant achievement for Africa, and delegate declares. Orama, Afrexim Bank, proud as its largest financier. Rewane, refinery will strengthen Nigeria's macroeconomic stability. Because on this day you have a picture of Dangote refinery as at yesterday, as it capturing it. The Dangote refinery yesterday. Above the leading story, we have Onaikan Bank's call for live broadcast of presidential tribunal proceedings, which will be debated on. No, that's actually be debated on. The tribunal justice will give their ruling on it today. Onaikan Bank's call for live broadcast of presidential tribunal proceedings. Above the masthead of this day, we have Wabote, over $50 billion oil industry projects unveiled at oil and gas fair. Federal government, Nigeria's oil sector still dominated by foreigners despite government's efforts. NEPL targets 60 additional oil wells by 2024. Of course, this they say see Monday interview with IGP Usman Baba on pages 46 to 48. Article, disunity feeds hate, which in turn feeds conflict. Article, disunity feeds hate, which in turn feeds conflict. Before we leave this day, we move over to the editorial for today. The editorial is the newspaper Times for today. So let's see what this day is saying. Of course, this day is big with advertorials on the Dangote's refinery, which is being launched today. As you can see, it's working with adverts. We have an editorial on Dangote refinery as expected. It says, as Dangote refinery opens. As Dangote refinery opens, the refinery exemplifies initiative and determination. The Dangote refinery is set to reshape Nigeria's economy and position the nation as a global energy player as it will involve export to the West African sub-region in the first instance. That's the editorial on this day. And for more stories on this day newspaper, just log on to the website www.thisdaylive.com. From this day, we move over to The Punch. The Punch has similar stories on its cover. Dangote refinery opens today. Eyes crude oil from 3 continents. Dangote refinery opens today. Eyes crude oil from 3 continents. Buhari Tinubu African leaders orders to attend launching. Refinery to meet daily fuel consumption. Create 100,000 jobs. Dangote refinery opens today. Eyes crude oil from 3 continents. Buhari Tinubu African leaders orders to attend launching. refinery to meet daily fuel consumption, create 100,000 jobs. You can see the picture of Dangote, President Dangote with Chairman Kelegu Power PSC Femi $10 on the cover. Of course, we also have the Dangote refinery picture on the front. Thank God. I think was it you? Okay, it was another guest who actually said that no, the crude will not actually be coming from Nigeria alone.
Well, it is
What do you have
expected.
to say?
In fact, Nigeria was conditioned
Yeah.
by Dangote to buy 20% of that company
Yes.
so as to be buying crude oil from Nigeria. That's why I said, if you don't buy 20% of this company, we will not be buying crude oil from it. It was like a conditionalities for them to be buying crude oil. Well, it's a good one for us because, like you read from
But
one
like
of
I
the
said,
papers,
like I also told one of my guests, it will also be beneficial in the sense that it will be cheaper for him to go and start exporting.
exporting is not the issue. It's buying crude oil.
Mm.
These five African presidents that are coming, no, the five African presidents that are coming, you thought they are only coming to look. They are coming to negotiate business on how their country will benefit from it. Because it's also, we are the largest country in West Africa. So anything good that happens in Nigeria, people are at the countryside. Other countries benefit more. In fact, now our subsidy is being benefited by countries around us. So if Dangote also come on board, it simply means that they are also going to enjoy cheaper. Because from Nigeria to Niger, from Nigeria to Chad, from Nigeria to Ghana, from Nigeria to the Republic, it simply means that they don't need to follow water. They will just cross the border and supply to them. So it's a very, like the people mentioned, a continent changer. That's language. I think it fits more.
Yes, that's how this day
It appeals to me more. A continent game changer. Because he has come to change the game, and now the EU will not be on the lookout for him now. I pray there will not be any negative things towards Dangote at this point in time. Because because it's taking the economy back to Africa.
Wow.
He's not telling the whole Africa, come on board. You can produce inside Africa and sell inside Africa. And the market is in Africa. So we can always come. And that is why you see that there is political economy of Ajakuta steel. It's because if it come on board, it's going to shut a lot of importation.
Like EU, as you also
exactly.
Mentioned, because
will no longer be imported. So it's a continent changer. However, Nigeria should have cautious optimism because Dangote is not. Yes, Dangote is not a Father Christmas. Immediately Dangote came into cement, we started having problem of cement. You know why? He bought Boham cement. You cannot see even this man from the east. You can't see Beto. You can't even see all those cement. Dangote dominates the market, not only in Nigeria, in Africa. So it now becomes like a monopoly.
Yes.
That determines the price. The price of cement is around 4,500. In fact,
presently,
yes, if other countries buy cheaper than Nigeria. So these are the things we need. So we must also encourage healthy competition. And I'm happy that BOA is also working on his refinery.
I think we'll be saying that next time.
Right. And also expect Nigerians to give room for modular refinery. So we'll not be subjected to these people whims and caprices.
Yes, what stopped Niger Delta? All those states.
The thing is that the bill is, and I think National Assembly has worked on the bill now. It has, putting this thing in recurrent.
Okay, see already.
Remember, even Dangote is enjoying PIB, petroleum industry bill. You understand? So I think now that this one has come on board, there should be another bill that will say each state can have refinery and commercialize it.
Yes, the power too has also deregulated.
Power has deregulated. Yes, even before, even rain was under exclusive list, but now it's Niger Delta now saying that all Niger Delta want to have our own. So these are what we expect. Yes, devolve this power, reduce the concentration of the federal government on everything. Let each state look into what they can do and do business. So my only cautious optimism is that let us now not suffer from Dangote because it will not be the determinant.
Okay, like somebody said, the only curve that closes in the
right, because he has taken over from
That is a local
NNPC is
partner.
the sole importer of oil, petrol. Now that he has come now, it means that they have competition because the law, please, we must also notice this law. The law does not stop Dangote from importing fuel. So
You see, that's
yes, they also have capacity to also import.
You see, that's how Guardian says high expectation as Dangote breaks NNPC's
Monopoly. Yes, they are breaking the
shrinks
monopoly.
EU supply.
But the fact is that the monopoly can turn to cartel.
Yes.
After monopoly, it can still move to cartel when these two people will now say, no, this is how we want to control it. And Nigeria will suffer in their hands. So we need a federal government that have people in mind. If not, it will not benefit this duty of Dangote refinery. Perhaps let's even look at political economy of employment as
well.
well.
How come, like what you just said before you talk about political employment, you just talked about him having monopoly. You gave example of the cement.
It's a big challenge.
BU also has cement.
Bua, yes.
Bua also has cement.
Right.
And between both of them,
it's a cartel now. Serious cartel.
They'll not be able to break
they buy all the buyable small ones, and they are the major. In fact, they are not even existing. Right. So government needs to be careful because now the Dangote has it. If we also come in, they can block the road. No other person comes in, which is the problem. So imagine if we have people like Dangote 4, 5 in Nigeria producing cement. By now, we will not be subjected. To only Dangote whims and caprices, and that's what we have to look at.
We're getting cement of
1815, 2,500, and I think we have to choose. That if you choose Dangote, it is very just like we have even the telephones. They are also cartel until we break it further. Because if 4 of them come together and say we don't want to do this, there is nothing NCC can do. So another benefit therein for Dangote refinery is that it creates a lot of employment. Not only employment, that's what we call value chain.
Yes.
The value chain is enormous. Some people will be there even creating dress for the people.
Cream. You have cream,
a lot of things.
You have fertilizer.
The value, they even call it Dangote refinery and petrochemicals. So that petrochemicals have its own arm. So if you look at the multiplier effect, it's a whole lot. And what I intend to even write in my article today is that the macro economy of Dangote refinery in Nigeria, it will change a lot of things.
It's really a game changer.
Even the foreign direct investment will change. That what will come in dollars, all these other countries are going to pay us in dollars. So we are having a good thing to exchange for foreign exchange. So there will be less demand for even foreign exchange because it will be coming now. We will not be the only one pursuing those. So that is another economic benefit, and also reflecting the production. Now that we say our economy, why are we having inflation of 22.22%? It's simply because we don't have major things we're exporting. So if we have Dangote Bua come up with a refinery,
even though it's in private hands,
it does not matter because the economy does not really recognize private or government. In fact, the economy even wants you to strengthen the private so that they can export and compete favorably with international markets. So by the time you do that, you will attract other things. Remember that the effect of this thing is that it will bring a lot of expatriates down to Nigeria.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yes, now Dangote has actually sent about 1,000 Nigeria on training.
For this refinery?
Really? He trained about 1,000 Nigerians because he said he wants to be solely Nigerian working there.
Wow,
so he has trained about 1,000 of them. I know he will be with conditionality. When employer employ, they will say next 10 years you will not leave. Come and sign bond. Come and sign a kind of right, which is not bad. But the thing is that these people you have equipped will now become a trainer. They will now start engaging, and over time, among them, will still come out of your company and establish a company that will even be your competitor. Because I remember even Dangote himself come on TV and said, it is less people that works in oil and gas. He said so that it's less people that do business in oil and gas. They should go and do real business. But before we know, he acquired MRS. I'm sure MRS has a relationship with now he has going to have a refinery, the largest refinery in Africa. In the world. It's not Africa.
In the world.
Yes, the largest refinery, single private refinery in the world is Dangote refinery. And that's awesome. So I think it's a thing that Buhari doesn't have choice. He has to go and commission it. But I just hope
And you know,
all
Adiu, what is so significant and so striking is that it's coming at the time that Nigeria is removing subsidy.
right, but we cannot still remove subsidy. The only reason we can remove subsidy is if our own Nigerian refinery is working. If Port Harcourt refinery is working, Kaduna refinery is working, fine. And that's why we said there is no problem. Dangote has opened Nigerian eyes. What you need to do is that advertise and tell the whole world, if you know you can buy 50% of Port Harcourt refinery, come and buy. Let the federal government have 50%, you have 50%.
Exactly.
Government will have 50% in Kaduna, you have 50%.
50%.
50%, about three of them, everything balance. You know why?
Yes.
A private man will never look at his business not working.
Yes.
It is not possible. So if you embark on this, fantastic. That means you have stake in Dangote, you have stake in your own, you can now
Perhaps
control the
the
market.
incoming government should just look at from this angle. That
That is how I expect them to look at
but
because
even though during the campaigns, former vice president Atiku was saying that he was going to privatize it.
they didn't get him well.
He didn't
Clarify.
He didn't go well.
No, he
with
did
so
not
many
clarify
Nigerians.
how he want to do it. Because
It didn't go well. Perhaps just like what you said now,
Right.
I think that is the best way to
remember
do it.
also, Dangote has borrowed a lot of money to build this refinery.
Yes, Afrizem Bank said
So he's not coming to
largest
do like
producer.
this for Nigeria. Don't expect him to sell cheap. The only beauty is that we will have sufficient, at least 200 barrel per day can be out. Because according to him, it's 610. But it's like expecting Nigeria to have 300. Maybe others will go for that.
650,000
Right.
barrel per day.
Right. So it's giving Nigeria 300 from what we have read. So if Nigeria is having 300, other African countries will be having another 300 or something. Which is, but the thing is that it will not come cheap because you want to recoup all what you have expended. That place is not a small money that you have traded off there. So you want to recoup. So recouping it simply means as it's coming with business-minded intent, which you cannot caution. And that's why I said they cannot remove that subsidy because it will also look at international global price. You're right. Because except if Nigeria is selling crude oil to Dangote at local price. But if they are selling it to him at international price, they should also expect international buying from him. So the only thing is that
if I may chip in,
right.
even if he's selling it sells to Nigeria at that international price,
right.
You know that region, the subsidy was being paid on the export, bringing it down.
Right.
Taking the crude, refining, and bringing it back again, they pay
the subsidy is at
so
the
at the end of the day, since it's just right here in our domain, so to speak, those costs will not be there.
Subsidy is not actually the transport you are looking at. It's about the global price. So what happened is that if it landed at global price, the government will now say, I reduce the price for you marketers. So marketers will now go and sell at the control price of government. No, not only the transport. If it's transport, let government open it now. A vessel can say I can take it cheaper. You can even, in fact, economics of, if you look at a vessel, what we call what's the name? You can price vessel cost. One will say I will take it at the one will say let me go and pass through Belgium and take 8 months, but I will sell it cheap for you. So it depends. So, but on a good note, Dangote has actually blessed Africa with this refinery. For you to have conceived it, source for the fund and implement it, at least kudos to him. And we want to have thing in Africa, at least Africa will move beyond where we are. Because you know why? This is part of what is called industrialization.
Yes.
This is what we call industrialization. Because from there, a value chain will come out of it. Different companies, different engagement. 178,000 Nigerians is expected to be working there. So that's a whole lot.
That is really a game changer.
I know when one person gets employment in Nigeria, it's going to be feeling like 5 to 10 people in Nigeria. So it's a game changer.
And from what you just said and what you just narrated, many Nigerians are also going to come out of it to also start something.
Exactly.
Many businesses are going to start.
That's what we expect.
Because
you know why? When foreign people bring business, we expect them to give us technological transfer. But we own this technology. So we are not looking at you transferring the technology. Nigerians are working there. Nigeria are operating all these things. So Nigeria can from there move ahead to create other businesses.
Wow. That is a good one. And 650,000 barrel per day facility to alter international energy landscape,
Right.
end petrol smuggling in Nigeria. Tinubu, Emefiele, governors, ministers, top business. Afrexim Bank proud as its largest financial.
Right. So you see
Okay,
that
he
most
said he
Nigerians.
said everyone he said refinery will strengthen Nigeria's
Right.
macroeconomic stability.
Right.
I just want you to speak on that.
Right. When we say macroeconomy, it simply means the aggregate of all what we do in a year. So by the time Dangote is there and there is foreign exchange and different people are working there, it simply means that we will now have more what we call outcome. So our GDP is going to move ahead beyond where we are. When we have good GDP, it simply means to bring development and people will be engaged more. So it's a very good one.
It's a very good one. Thank you so much. Well, you've heard it from the political economists. This will go on the break. When we come back, we'll be looking at other headline stories. Don't go away, just stay tuned.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Yes, you're welcome back. This is cherry news for me this morning. This Dangote refinery, which is a continent's game changer, as this day newspaper puts it. Well, it's going to be commissioned this morning by today. It's today by President Muhammadu Buhari and other 7 presidents of the African nations. From there, we are moving to other headline stories today on other papers. Let's see what the nation is saying. Of course, the nation, let's talk about Blueprint. Blueprint says court to federal government account for $460 million CCTV Abuja failed project. Court to federal government account for 460 million CCTV Abuja failed project. Others clarifications on 1.5 billion naira CCB contract 2. Sarah Hayes judgment. Stories on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. Court to federal government account for $460 million CCTV Abuja failed project. And of course, leadership also has the same story on its cover. CCTV project, court asks federal government to account for $460 million Chinese loan.
You see, on this CCTV, once you became a
460
president, once you
million,
become a
that's quite a
president,
huge sum.
you inherit the liability of the outgoing president. Jonathan got this loan,
Okay,
and Jonathan implement this project. You are seeing it on the road now. That white CCTV pipe pole. That's what they are saying.
Okay,
That's what they are saying.
Okay, that means it was actually implemented.
It was also,
not looted.
Not loot. It was implemented by Jonathan, but you know, in government, it is a continuum. So you must, as a federal government, they are expecting you to, and I want them to account for. You know why?
Yeah.
Once they account for it, going forward, it will be guiding us. You know, it was conceived in a rush. You know, when the Boko Haram just started buying those things, you see the humongous amount, and there's no record for it. Imagine if ordinary robbery happened on the road. There's no way you can trace it. At the point of that city, and at this age, because I plotted it down, that at this age and time in Nigeria, how can you buy a big city, a whole pool? I was in Rwanda, another African country. You see what they are, it's very small like this. Small. So, and it doesn't really take space. In fact, you that is committing crime will not know that there's something is there. So I don't wonder why we now have obsolete, archaic, you know. Like that. So sometimes you just imagine, who is this government? and they go outside every day.
And they see what happens.
So it's better they say they should account for it because it was done in a rush and somebody has taken advantage of this
and of course,
$460 million.
the money was over. It's a humongous amount.
Very
over
budgeted, and because it's security issue, Nigeria, that's our problem. Query anything security.
That's exactly what happened during for this railway. And when we had that kidnap that this Abuja Kaduna Road, and of course the minister then for transportation, did say that they actually had written something for security, but they threw it down. They went to presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. They threw it down, and of course reports that a made just like what you are saying because it's security that. There was no backing. It just brought a company that has not even executed projects of up to 10 million. And the security stuff, there was no manufacturer's address, nothing. You just wrote, just like that, you need 3 billion.
These are problems that we have. And that's why I said
so
procurement is the process. So the procurement process was bad.
Details. And
the procurement process was faulty. There's contract rigging and splitting already.
Yes,
so once there's a problem, I agree with them that why don't you make it open?
Yes.
Do an advert, let everybody know that these are what you want to do. So the challenge is that anything security, we don't want to probe it. So I want to appreciate Sarah. I don't know where they get their strength from. Day in, day out, they sue federal government.
Like Sarah, Huriwa, these are NGOs that live from that hold the government accountable.
They sue them every time, and this is a good judgment. And no matter what, it's not Buhari government, but let them account
but at the end of the day,
that we
the
have done
government
this
is
and
already
that.
going. So what happened?
The debt is even there waiting for them. We are owing Chinese. We borrowed now, so the project is not well implemented. We are not seeing the result, and that's why I said anything that is not project, positive project child loan, don't collect it. This is just lying low, doesn't have any effect. If there's anything in Abuja, you can't just go back to that TV and check.
I want to agree with you, Ali, because you go to overseas, Western world, you see that even in houses, supermarket, they have CCTV.
That's why they can trace any.
My favorite program on the channel is this 171 investigation discovery. You see that in most houses they have security outside.
It doesn't cost an arm or a leg.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's
what you just said. That's
so Nigeria will just see that.
Look
at this express. This express does not have any record that can record anything
will happen. You are driving out and you see that a code has been brought that due to an accident.
And no
person
record.
will just go
No record.
And there's no way they can do
record.
Like that.
So that's
very, very
sad. Big apology now.
So what happens? So is the next administration at the end of the day is dead on that?
No, it's not dead.
The government is already going.
The next one should also account for it. That's how it should be. The file is there. The contractor is there now. Is he a ghost? Come and explain how you expend. How many do you fix? Why do you buy this type? Why don't it give us a standard for the next one? And that's the beauty of it. So we shouldn't look at witch hunt or something. Let us be accountable for everything.
It's a story that made the rounds of cover of all papers today. We have
accounts for $460 million.
The Punch newspaper,
so
we have it in
let them do their
Vanguard and all. Let's see what Vanguard is saying. Vanguard says manufacturers in dire straits as also goods hit 470 billion naira. Vanguard newspaper. Manufacturers in dire straits as unsold goods hit 470 billion naira. Man points at low purchasing power, cash crunch. As 2023 FPM's tax hike threatens sector's survival. The FMCG's report up to 60% sales drop.
What do you expect? The day they introduced Naira redesign, I told them that the problem is going to fall on manufacturers because people will not have money to buy. You think you are doing a transfer. Now, if you do, you're saying everybody should do online. If I want to buy diaper and I want to buy pieces of it, maybe one is 150. So I'm going to transfer. Well, do you know how many Nigerians do not have the capacity to buy a packet of diaper? People have to buy one by one. And that's why FMCG is complaining now because people need to buy sweet. They need to buy all this. So do you want them to transfer such amount? You know, that's why I said that policy new design dead on arrival.
Oh,
Are we not back to status quo now? How many new naira do you see on the street now?
No.
That
And I
so
keep
shows that
wondering
there's
what
no
happened to the
capacity.
new notes. I was even telling the
You
trainer
didn't
the
even,
other day that
and
what
you
happened to the
didn't
new
produce up
notes.
to capacity. I want us to spend only that one. I don't know how these people think. Maybe because they spend dollars, they wouldn't know what ordinary Nigerian would do. Look at now, it has affected the purchasing power. That's the major thing that affects the purchasing power. You know, we have inflationary problem. We have issue of no employment. People don't have power. You see now introduce the new designer that is not within 3 months you implement it and you want everybody to have new naira that you did not give us to have. Now let CBN show us the new naira now. That's the problem. So now it has affected the economy. They are still now unsold. You know what meaning of unsold? That you produce, nobody to buy. You have to go and throw it into the bush because it has expired.
Yeah, of course, during that period, especially during the height of this new naira policy design, we saw videos, trending videos of even those informal sector plantains were ripe and throwing away.
Informal sector suffered.
We saw videos, yes, of plantains
what do you
sweat.
expect? It's unsold. It's meaning of unsold now
Unsold.
because they are unsold that you cannot get again. Most of all these fast moving consumer goods have expiry or best before.
Yes.
So once that day, they will have to throw it. So they lost about 470. Do you know what this means in the economy?
470.
Does this amount even equal what they used to print the money? It's not equal it now. So why are you having about 5 policy within 6 months?
But there's also a play out too. The federal government, I said federal government, the CBN recently said that the money now in circulation has increased, meaning many people prefer to keep their money.
It's expected now.
That
it is basic. What we call it basic.
They don't take it back again to the
basic
bank.
economy.
Yes.
Once you suffer, you don't want to suffer.
You don't want to suffer.
So you want to be on the good side of the economy. Let me.
There is money again in circulation.
You know, the problem is that even people don't want again need. Common need, we cannot meet it up. You don't have. In fact, my family came to do something. So one of them said he need water. You know, I have to take you to shop right to buy water of 150 that I can always buy on the street. On the street. No, not even the money is not the problem. But I have to use my ATM to go and buy because I don't have the cash. So a lot of people suffer, and informal sector, some people are out of business now because of this.
Anyway, before we go, we just quickly have to look at Daily Sun talking about security issues. Latest Plateau attacks, church alleges killing of 130, razing of 1,000 houses, 22 worship centers, also 22 villages burnt. Latest Plateau attacks, looking at Daily Sun today's headline story. Church alleges killing of 130, razing of 1,000 houses, 22 worship centers, also 22 villages burnt. What happened to this security personnel we have in these states?
The fact just means that until the security architecture of Nigeria is being reviewed to allow governors to have power on the security in their state.
No,
If there's any case in any state, are you aware that the governor will first call the governor cannot call the commissioner to rush down there. The commissioner will say you have to talk to the IG. Yeah, look at that bureaucracy. So if governors have the power at ABC, move there immediately, it will be solved. So until we review that police issues and make sure that each state can have their policing.
What about capacity? I don't know. I keep wondering that people will just go because it takes, for instance, those people they kidnapped, like 22 the other day in Kaduna. You wonder, with the time it takes, are police not responsive to?
That's why I said it's because of the communication channel. Okay, for instance, if something is happening in life camp, the next thing to do is for you to call the divisional police but the divisional police DPO we say I need to call FCT command. FCT command
before I can move there.
FCT command will now have to call the headquarters. The headquarters will now make sure they get directive from the. That's what happens. The process of communication is the problem. Okay, check all those states that have their own Amotekun. Let's look at Lagos. What do you call it? Lagos also have LASMA. You know, when they want to do anything, sometimes it's quickie because the government will just say move, and they move, but they need to collect order. So until we reduce it, it's quite a problem. And also, what's the capacity of Nigerian police? 300,000 Nigerian police compared to 200 million
Mm.
citizens. How, we, how can we be up? And the thing is, I even learned lastly that even civil defense can also add a look into criminal
Yes,
issues. So they also
no,
need
most
to
times
strengthen them.
they were deployed to secure our pipelines.
Well, apart from now, they are also looking into crime, even financial crime, which is not bad, but strengthen them
Okay.
and let us know their responsibility. We need more capacity. We need more capacity. If not, this
And
imagine,
it's also
and they still went again.
and you know the way they are also trained like that. What kind of training are police trained? You know what
The world has
what I'm
gone
asking is
beyond.
that what comes to my mind
We
is
don't have capacity.
the
That is
training
just-
when Sheung and Sheung and that police officer trained with it.
right.
You know, and so I read the report and many people were like, did he have tried that with the soldier? We have had the soldier and that
He would have returned.
Taking
He
care
would
of
have even shot him because he wouldn't have
the
choice.
beating, you know.
Even
So
he
that's
would
why
have.
I'm saying that it's like they give them different training.
No.
So just
If you look at that man, if you look at that man, if you look at the police, he feel guilty himself, and that's part of training. It's like he also felt guilty. How can a civilian came down from his vehicle and started slapping without retaliating? So I think the training part is still the issue because you know why? Once somebody wants to hit you as a security person, you know how to dismiss, how to move
But
on,
you
how
know,
to
you
find
won't try
yourself.
that with a soldier. But you
Dare it now. Who are you to dare it? And they will still support themselves. You know the
even
funniest
just
thing.
one soldier, that's what I'm saying. The training is different.
It's
Because the
different
soldier has
now,
more
so-
strength, more power, more.
Where
you know,
did
it's even more. The training they give them, I think, is just really different.
you cannot compare it anyway. They are trained for war.
So when I saw
People are
the
training for
two
civil.
columnists, when no columnists saying that, I actually laughed that would they have tried that process with them.
They wouldn't.
soldier.
They won't dare. They will not dare. They will not dare.
It's really sad. So what's the way forward? It's just like because this insecurity came up again, you know, when after the elections.
It's much
As if
more
let's
serious.
just do
I-
let's just do it now
I think
before
our
Buhari
architecture
leaves.
is relaxed because during the, if you remember during Jonathan
You saw
when there
videos
is about
of bodies
election,
littered around on the street.
it's very appalling, very pathetic, very pathetic. And the funny thing that what they forgot to do is that it can be
And at the
anyone
end of the day, nobody is
Is
arrested. Nobody has been prosecuted. Just how
even
many?
question.
There
Don't
was
even
even a story on
question.
Vanguard over the weekend. I said about 600 and over 600,000, 613 or so, and some people have been killed under Buhari's administration.
That's
That was on Saturday.
that's correct. A lot of killing. This
And even when
administration is not
people
helping.
are of the opinion that no, that one is official rape, that is actually murder.
Sure, how many will you capture? It's only in
Mm.
Kaduna that has home security that accounts for every death. In Nigeria, we don't have anything like that. It is only one, and that's why you see that these newspaper will still vary. It will
It's still
vary from
vary,
one
yes.
paper to the
Because the
other.
Punch carried last
So-
year December that it was 500 and something.
So it's a serious issue. And going
It
forward,
is.
I think like which of the paper, look at Guardian down there that they said Tinubu said he's going to look at all these 7 areas, and number one is security,
Of demand
economy.
from Tinubu.
So demand from Tinubu, so security, economy, structure, the southeast, peace talk.
No, but it's so sad that
Security is the top.
7 days to go, this administration came on the matter of security to restore security. And ironically, 8 years after, they are still living with security the worst.
How times fly. Now they have seen
Security
all what they failed
increased
to
under
do
them.
has come to
Corruption and
a lot of things.
flourished.
All what this administration promised, no one achieved. The one they would have achieved with agricultural, it has been eroded by security
Yes,
issues. So,
yes.
so infrastructure that you give, is it stomach our face first or better roads? You are supposed to create a way that poverty can be reduced. You say you reduce poverty. Poverty has increased to 1.3 million Nigeria in multi-dimensional poverty. So it's a sad one.
It's really sad. It's really, really sad.
It's a sad one.
Just before we go, I just want you to just say your view on this last minute appointment that President Muhammad Buhari is making. How do you see like the sack of FAA, that's Federal Aviation Authority?
I think his sack is related to our free
Then he also
airline.
brought,
Airline.
He
You know, they
also brought
promise-
in first female Accountant General Federation. Many people take this appointment with a picture of himself because knowing that the new administration will probably remove them.
Perhaps they don't want, no, it may not. Perhaps they don't want to create a vacuum. So once you sack people for a particular responsibility, someone needs to take over. But the joy is that they are from the same political party, so it won't be an issue.
With like everybody was saying that
Even the chairman of
president-elect
NDIC
is a team
has been
player.
changed as well.
He's a team leader and a team player. Of course, he already has his retinue of aides and supporters. So probably he may want to also fix
But they are not major. They are not ministerial. They are not major one. The thing is, you have a lot of MDAs, a lot of positions, so they can rejiggle and make sure they fix it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that perhaps it's going to retain some people in government again. You should know.
No,
Because it's
no,
APC.
I don't think
We only
Nigerians will
wish
want that.
that's
Because
our wish.
there was a report last week that many of these ministers were going to lobby him in France.
Right.
But
That's what I'm
after 8 years,
saying.
I was like, after 8 years,
Some of them, that's how it is. That's why politics sometimes, you look at it, you wouldn't understand it, accept them now. Because you know why? They're trying to compare. Say, so are you saying that if Zamfara State is to produce a minister, and the new governor said, I still want the same person. So will Tinubu say no? He will say no now. He will say no.
The pulse of the country.
Which part of the country? It's about the state and about them settling themselves. So that is all I think.
There was a saying that he now said that, are you the only one from this state? And also said, yes, I've forgotten one that said that went to meeting. Now, so you are not the only one from that state.
If the governor is
a good reply from the president-elect. That is not the only one from that state.
He's a politician. He knows how to do things. So we expect to start seeing him at least after the next 7 days. He will take the battle.
Thank you so much, you. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having
on political economics. Well, viewers, this is how we end today's Monday's edition of Inside Nigeria, your beautiful breakfast show. My name is Winifred Igbobo, and I have with me in the studio since a political economist and a political analyst. Thank you so much. I look forward to having you same time next week. So, viewers, see you tomorrow, same time, same station. Bye.